that it is in fact possible for you to run faster than the speed of light, and in so doing, travel back in time. It still would be wildly irresponsible.
The future, Marty? What do you mean? How can we be in the future?
Jennifer, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're in a time machine.
You can't go forward because the future hasn't happened yet. However, you can go back, and that's where things get real tricky.
Time travel has not yet been invented, but 30 years from now, it will have been.
After the report, we'll time travel back to 2 days ago, steal your dad's keys, and leave them here. See?
Whoa, yeah! So, after the report, we can't forget to do this, otherwise it won't happen.
Are you sure you want to part with them? How much would you give me for them?
Excuse me, what if there was a birthday present from Dr. McCoy?
And there will be again, that's the beauty of it.
Welcome to another show. Today we're going to take a look at plot holes in time travel films, unraveling the paradoxes and logical gaps of cinematic chronology. Time travel has long fascinated filmmakers and audiences alike, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the alternate histories, future possibilities, and the immutable fabric of destiny. Yet, with great narrative freedom comes great logical peril. The concept of moving through time, whether to fix the past, alter the future, or simply explore the unknown, has led to some of the most imaginative storytelling in cinema. But it also opens the door to a labyrinth of paradoxes and plot holes. This document explores the most common and some unique plot holes that permeate time travel films, examining why these logical inconsistencies arise, what forms they take, and how they affect our enjoyment of the genre. Few narrative devices are as liberating or as perilous as time travel. On one hand, it allows storytellers to break free from linear constraints, weaving intricate tapestries of cause and effect, fate and free will. On the other, it demands a rigorous internal logic, as viewers are quick to spot contradictions and inconsistencies. The very act of traveling through time, whether via a DeLorean, a phone booth, or a magical amulet, invites scrutiny. The following sections delve into the most prevalent plot holes in time travel films, illustrated with hypothetical examples and references to iconic movies where appropriate.
Who sent you? I want the name. In a few weeks, this guy's gonna run the whole country. I can't tell you anything. He'll send somebody back to wipe out my grandparents. It'll be like I never existed.
Here are some common types of plot holes in time travel films. The grandfather paradox. Perhaps the most famous time travel paradox, the grandfather paradox, arises when a character travels back in time and does something that would prevent their own existence. For example, if a protagonist goes back and accidentally or deliberately causes harm to their grandparents before their parent was conceived. Logic dictates that they would never have been born, so how could they have traveled back at all? Films often sidestep this conundrum by introducing parallel universes or timelines.
The time continuum has been disrupted, creating this new temporal event sequence resulting in this alternate reality.
But unless clearly established, this solution can feel like a hasty patch rather than a coherent fix. Then there's the bootstrap paradox. This paradox occurs when an object or piece of information is sent back in time and becomes the very cause of its self-existing in the timeline. For instance, if a character receives a blueprint for a time machine from their future self and then builds it and passes the plans back again, the question arises, who actually invented the time machine? The information or object has no true origin, existing in a closed loop. While this can be an intriguing puzzle, films that fail to address its implications risk undermining their own narrative logic.
Something we did changed the past.
But how come your mother...
Well, just think about it. Everything you did is different than what would have happened if you would have never gotten out of that warehouse. Then you get Mom the hell out. But Dad, those other women were not supposed to die. If we don't do something and try to stop this guy, we're going to have to live with that for the rest of our lives.
You are completely relaxed. Think of it like a movie. You can pause, rewind, or slow down.
Any interaction you have with your parents or yourself, you step on the wrong blade of grass, you have no idea what the consequences to that could be.
No, I know. The butterfly effect, right?
Then there's the butterfly effect and its inconsistencies. The butterfly effect posts that small changes in the past lead to a massive difference in the future. Many films play with the idea only to ignore its consequences when convenient. A protagonist might alter a minor event like moving a book on a shelf, yet the world remains fundamentally unchanged, except for a single plot-relevant outcome. Conversely, some films exaggerate the effect, rendering the past so fragile that the slightest interference causes catastrophic results, yet allows characters to interact freely without consequences. These inconsistencies can be jarring, weakening the credibility of the story's internal rules. Then there's selective memory and paradox immunity. Often, time travelers retain memories of previous timelines, even when their actions should have erased or overwritten them. Sometimes only the protagonist remembers previous versions of reality, while everyone else conveniently forgets or adapts. This raises questions about the mechanics of memory in all alleged timelines. If the past is changed, should the traveler's memory not also change to reflect the new reality? Films often gloss over this, leading to plot holes and confusion. Then there's the conveniently timed arrival. Characters in time travel films often arrive at a preordained right moment in the past or future, as if the timeline were waiting for them. This narrative convenience can create plot holes when not explained. How does the time machine pinpoint the exact moment, especially in chaotic or unpredictable situations? The arrival of time travelers at precisely the right moment, without any explanation, can strain credulity. Then there's unchanging or fixed timelines. Some films assert that the timeline is fixed and that certain events cannot be changed, no matter what the characters try to do. However, these fixed points are often arbitrarily designated, raising questions about free will and causality. If time travelers can alter minor events but not major ones, what governs the distinction? Inconsistent application of these rules can lead to significant plot holes. Then, of course, there's the forgotten casualty and double existence. Time travel sometimes leads to scenarios where two versions of the same character or object coexist in the same timeline.
You're the same person as him, but from an alternate timeline.
Yes.
In which you and I are friends?
Yeah, you're like probably my best friend.
Yet consequences are ignored. For example, if a character brings their younger self into the future, where does the younger version go when the timeline is restored? What happens if two versions interact? These situations can quickly spin out of logical control, and films that fail to address them risk narrative incoherence. Then there's the temporal loops and endless repetition. In stories involving time loops, characters relive the same period repeatedly. While the premise can be used to great effect, it often introduces plot holes regarding the persistence of memory, physical wear, or the external world's awareness of time resets after each loop. Do materials wear out? Do physical injuries persist or heal? Many films ignore these details, which can leave perceptive viewers with more questions than answers. Here are some case studies in notorious plot holes in popular films. The Back to the Future trilogy. This trilogy series is beloved for its playful approach to time travel, but is rife with plot holes. One prominent example occurs at the end of the first film. After Marty McFly returns to a timeline improved by his actions, his parents have entirely new personalities and histories. Yet Marty remembers only the old timeline. Wouldn't Marty have different memories to match his new upbringing? Similarly, the existence of multiple DeLoreans in the same timeline raises questions about paradoxes and causality. And let's not get started on the second film. I mean, how can you disappear in 1985, reappear in 2015, and yet see your future selves? You disappeared in 1985.
Wait a minute, Doc. If we jump ahead to the year 2015, how will Jennifer and I have kids waiting for us there in the future?
Great Scott! You're right! If you come to the future with me, nobody will stay here and get married and have kids that actually need help in the year 2015.
When Biff disappears and the DeLorean goes back to 1950s, the reality of their world should have changed around them. When they get back to 1985, the world has changed into the way Biff created it. But yet, in 2015, after Biff disappears, it stays the same. And there are so many other plot holes in that. series. But anyway, let's go to the Terminator franchise. This series hinges on a predestination paradox. Skynet sends a Terminator to kill Sarah Connor before her son John can lead the human resistance. But John's own father is sent back by John. The casualty is circular. John's existence depends on events set in motion by his future self. Each new installment struggles to reconcile its own timeline, leading to contradictions about who exists, when, and why. Then, of course, there's Looper. This creates complex scenarios in which characters confront their future or past selves. Yet the rules governing how actions in the past affect the future are inconsistently applied. For instance, injuries to a character's younger self instantly manifest on their older body, sometimes at convenient moments, while other times they do not. The film's attempt to explain these mechanics is imaginative, but ultimately leaves logical gaps. And in Avengers Endgame, Marvel's epic time travel adventure attempts to fix plot holes by differentiating between timelines and realities. While the film spends considerable time explaining its rules, it still introduces inconsistencies. For example, Captain America's decision to remain in the past and live a full life raises questions about temporal overlap and the creation, or not, of alternate timelines, which the film never fully addresses.
They must have done it in the past. They went back and assimilated Earth, changed history.
Temporal wake must have somehow protected us from the changes in the timeline.
This single object is the source of all the time displacement.
Explain.
I can't. For this to do what it does is impossible by any science I understand.
Why plot holes persist in time travel films. Despite the best efforts of writers and directors, time travel fiction seems almost destined to be riddled with logical inconsistencies. The reasons are manifold. Complexity. The more time travel is used as a plot device, the harder it becomes to keep track of all possible implications and consequences. Then there's the narrative convenience. Writers may prioritize dramatic tension and emotional payoff over strict logical consistency, trusting audiences to suspend their disbelief. And of course, there's the theoretical uncertainty. Since real-world time travel remains a theoretical possibility rather than a scientific reality, there is no authoritative rulebook to follow. And of course, there's the audience expectations. Some viewers enjoy picking apart plot holes, while others are content to let the story's emotional arc override its logical gaps. So let's embrace the paradox. Why we love and forgive time travel plot holes. For all their logical pitfalls, time travel films continue to delight and captivate. Perhaps it is the very impossibility of seamless chronology that gives these stories their charm. We are drawn to the what-ifs and maybes, the chances to rewrite destiny, the thrill of stepping outside time's relentless march. Plot holes, paradoxes, and inconsistencies are, in some sense, part of the package. The price we pay for imaginative freedom. In the end, the success of a time travel film is rarely measured by the perfection of its logical structure, but by its ability to move, entertain, and provoke thought. The next time a character steps into a time machine and emerges in another era, we may roll our eyes at the paradoxes, but we are more than willing to take their journey with them. And that was our show for today. What do you think? What are your views on time travel films? Do you just go there and have fun, or do you think about all of the inconsistencies and plot holes that these films create? Let me know your thoughts on time travel in the comments section below. And until next time, this is Kevin Given. I'd be honored if you would subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell to stay informed. Share this video, as that will help me grow on YouTube as well. Check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise, which is also in the comments section. And until next time, this is Kevin Given saying, live long and prosper. May the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.